Today we are going to cover lookups and related lookup techniques in Excel. We will explore VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, and the index match combination, and then extend those with functions such as max, min, Maxifs, Minifs, large, and small. These formulas may look complex at first, but once you understand the logic and syntax, they become powerful and straightforward tools for extracting precise answers from large datasets. Our dataset is an employee table that includes ID, name, email, department, address, salary, gender, and more. We also have the same data arranged horizontally to demonstrate HLOOKUP. Everything we do will reference that single dataset in either its vertical or horizontal form. We start by finding Latia's department with VLOOKUP. The VLOOKUP syntax requires a lookup value, a table array, a column index number, and a range lookup type. The lookup value is the name Latia. You can place that value directly inside quotes or reference a cell that contains the name. For the table array, select the range that starts from the column where the lookup value exists and extends to the column you want to return. In this example, the lookup value is in the name column and the return value is in the department column, so your range should start at name and end at department. The column index number is the position of the return column relative to the leftmost column of the selected range. If your selected range starts at name and department is the fourth column inside that range, use 4 as your column index number. Finally, choose the range lookup, and because we want exact matches, always use false for exact match. So type equal to VLOOKUP with the lookup value, the table range from name to department, the correct column index number, and false for exact match. Once you press enter, you will see that Latia's department returns as sales. For HLOOKUP, we use exactly the same logic, but transposed for a horizontal dataset. The HLOOKUP syntax mirrors VLOOKUP, except you provide a row index number rather than a column index number. Using the horizontal version of the dataset, type equal to HLOOKUP with Latia as the lookup value. Select the table range that starts from the name row and ends at the department row. Provide the row index number that corresponds to department in that range, and choose false for exact match. Press enter and HLOOKUP will also return sales. Next, we use XLOOKUP, which simplifies many of the pains of VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. XLOOKUP asks for the lookup value, the lookup array, and the return array. There is no need for a column or row index number because you explicitly select the column or row to search and the column or row to return. For Latia's department, type equal to XLOOKUP. Use Latia as the lookup value, set the lookup array as the name column, set the return array as the department column, and optionally provide a friendly message like not found if there is no match. Set the match mode to exact and close the formula. XLOOKUP returns sales, and the same formula pattern works equally well on the horizontal dataset by selecting the name row as lookup array and the department row as return array. Now let us find a salary for an employee who resides in Brandenburg. You could use VLOOKUP for this if the address is part of your leftmost columns, but a more flexible and dynamic approach is to use index and match together. Start with index and choose the array that contains the values you want returned, in this case the salary column. For the row argument of index, nest the match function. Match will find the row position of Brandenburg inside the address column. So type equal to index with salary as the array, comma, then equal to match with the lookup value Brandenburg in quotes and the lookup array as the address column, with match type set to exact, and then close the match and index brackets. Press enter and index match returns the salary for the employee who lives in Brandenburg. This approach works even if the lookup column is not left of the return column and therefore is more robust than VLOOKUP. Next, we will find the gender associated with the highest salary. Again, we will use index match, but this time the lookup value inside match will not be a static value, it will itself be a function. To do this, start index with the gender column as the return array, then nest match. For match's lookup value, use the max function applied to the salary column. That is, use equal to max on the salary column so match will search for the maximum salary. For matches lookup array, use the salary column and choose exact match. When you close match and index, the formula returns the gender of the employee who earns the maximum salary. To find the gender with the lowest salary, replace max with MIN in the nested lookup value, and everything else remains the same. This gives you both the gender for the highest salary and the gender for the lowest salary. To find the employee with the highest salary in a specific department, for example sales, we combine index match with Maxifs. Start index with the name column as the return array because you want the person's name returned. For matches lookup value, use Maxifs applied to the salary column with the criteria range of department and the criteria text sales. Maxifs returns the highest salary only within the sales department. For matches lookup array, use the salary column and set exact match. Close the brackets and index match with Maxifs will yield the name of the employee who has the highest salary in sales. To get the lowest paid employee in production, the same pattern applies, but replace Maxifs with Minifs and change the criteria to production. Finding gender with the second highest salary extends the same idea. Use index with the gender column as the return array. For the match lookup value, nest the large function. Large accepts an array and an index, the nth largest value. Use the salary column as the array and specify 2 to get the second highest salary. Then for matches lookup array, use the salary column again and choose exact match. Close the match and index calls, and you will get the gender corresponding to the second highest salary. To get the gender with the fifth lowest salary, use small instead of large and specify the number 5 for the nth smallest value. Now finding the employee with the second highest salary within a specific department requires nesting even more logic. You will still use index to return the name column. For matches lookup value, nest the large function. Inside large's array argument, use an if expression that returns salary values only when the department equals the criteria, for example sales. The if expression will create a virtual array of salaries where the condition is true for sales and false otherwise. Then pass that if result to large and specify 2 as the nth largest. That gives you the second highest salary among sales. For matches lookup array, use the salary column so match can locate the exact row position of that second highest sales salary. Close the match and index calls, and the formula returns the name of the employee with the second highest salary in sales. To find the fifth lowest salary in production, switch large to small, change the n value to 5, and update the department criteria to production. The structure remains the same. Index returns the name column, match uses large or small applied to an if that filters the salary column by department. If you found this tutorial helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more Excel and data analysis tutorials.